Welcome back to Teesside for Heat 2 of the Micromax UK Championships Round 6. And the grid positions look like this for this one. Usain Quaker and Rory Armstrong on the front row this time. And Rory Armstrong, having finished second in the championship, of course, to Seb Corking in the first heat. Corking, the championship leader, he dropped 3 points there. He's now going to have to make those up. We're on board there again with Charlotte Stanley, just looking back there on Caden Simpson. And that's Usain Quaker taking the lead from Armstrong. Corking right behind Armstrong now, so of course 25 points for the win, 22 for second, 20 for third in this one, as Armstrong comes up the inside of Quaker now and takes the lead. And frankly, this is the way he would like it to finish. Him first, Quaker second, and Corking in third place. Not sure that's going to happen, but he certainly needs to win it as Corking now comes up the inside, and normal service has been resumed in terms of championship points. Corking came into this round 5 points ahead in the championship. He extended that to 8 points after heat 1, and at the moment, as things stand, with Armstrong out front now, Corking is second, it will be back to 5 points at the end of this race if it stays like this. So Armstrong out front from Corking. Quaker on board there with Charlotte Stanley, and we're looking back there on Aston Brown in 5th place and Caden Simpson, who went through the line in 6th. This is round 6 of 7 in the championship. Just Houghton Park to come after this weekend. It looks like it's going to go right to the wire and should be between Armstrong and Corking out front here as things stand. But who's going to have the championship lead going to that final round? It very much depends on who wins this heat, heat 3, and then the final. Double points in the final, of course, so that is vitally important and will set the tone for the final round as Corking now sets the fastest lap in his attempt to chase down the man out front. That is Rory Armstrong in front of him. So Armstrong leading and Corking second. You're looking at them now as they come into hairpin 1. That leads to hairpin 2. And then on the run down to South Bank, we temporarily lose the timing, but that will come back in due course. So Corking, the championship leader there in second, and closing Armstrong now is going to put him under a huge amount of pressure. He's already won the first heat, and frankly, Armstrong cannot allow him to win this heat. So there is Seb Corking, picked out as the championship leader through hairpin 3, or hairpin 4 rather, and then brings them down to the left-right flick. This is a battle for the lead. So Armstrong, Corking, Quaker, then Charlotte Stanley. That's Caden Simpson. Looks like we've lost Aston Brown. So we've lost Aston Brown somewhere. He's out of the race. Must be some sort of mechanical issue. May have thrown a chain, possibly. And we're back into the centre of the circuit. So still under pressure, Rory Armstrong. He's simply got to win this race to put the championship points back to where they were before we came to this round. We were coming here knowing that, of course, in our first appearance here at Teesside earlier in the year, Seb Corking won all of the heats in easy fashion. A little bit more difficult in the final, but he won it reasonably comfortably in the end. And Rory Armstrong out front here, the man from Northern Ireland, cannot allow him to do that again today. If he did that again today, frankly, he'd be going to Houghton Park with such a huge lead. It would be relatively straightforward for him to take the championship at the end of the season. Now, as I was saying earlier, there's an engine and all ancillaries plus a Micromax branded race suit for the winner in the championship. Second and third get a bare engine, so none of the ancillaries that go with the engine, but it's a bare engine nevertheless. It's a prize worth, I think, around about £1,000, something like that. I've still got to pay for it. But the really interesting thing this weekend is we've got Oliver Sibbald here. He's raced in the championship earlier in the season when he was doing really well. He had a few issues, and he's jumped class to another class. And that class is appearing in other races here this weekend at Teesside, and Oliver Sibbald is in those races. Now, if he'd brought his Micromax engine and kart with him here to Teesside, gone through the line and just pulled off each time, finished last in all the heats and the finals, he could have gone to Houghton Park pretty much guaranteed that he would have won a bare engine for finishing third in the championship, because James Roberts this weekend, I think I mentioned this in Heat 1, but James Roberts had a problem with his van. He's got the van fixed, and now, knowing that what we know in the UK, we've got all sorts of problems going on with fuel supply. James Roberts, his dad Gary, has not been able to get any fuel to come here to Teesside from Liverpool. Couldn't get any fuel to make the journey, so he's had to miss this round. And as a consequence, that would have pretty much handed third place in the championship to Oliver Sibbald, and he'd have won an engine for doing that. Wouldn't have even had to race this weekend, just gone through the line, pulled off, just start the race, score points for finishing last in all the heats and the final, and then gone to Hooton Park and had it a pretty straightforward day. Wouldn't have had to buy new tyres, could have used old tyres there, that's in the regulations. So he's pretty much given up that opportunity. I think that's because they've just not realised their position in the championship compared to all the other drivers. Now, Braden Boyd is not here this weekend. He could have put himself in the mix, although it's not quite the same scenario because he hadn't missed a round. But Braden Boyd is missing this weekend because his dad's got COVID. So, the grid's been decimated this weekend, frankly. I think at Hooton Park we should have more. There's plenty of people racing at Hooton Park, but we'll have to wait and see. This is that battle again for the lead. Still Armstrong out front. Corking can't seem to find a way past. He is, he went through the line less than 87 thousandths of a second behind Armstrong. He's right behind him now. Surely he's got to find a way past. If you can find a way past on this circuit, not that Armstrong is defending unnecessarily, he isn't. It's such a wide circuit this, you can easily drive around the outside of someone that wants to drive on the inside line. That's what makes this circuit so fantastic. It is a great circuit. We don't see anywhere near enough racing from here at the top level, to be honest. It doesn't feature Motorsport UK branded events because it's not a Motorsport UK circuit. Bob Pope, the circuit owner here, who was a little bit of interesting history for everybody, he was the man with his partner at the time who invented, frankly, indoor karting in the UK. That was his claim to fame, or that is his claim to fame in karting. Very famous in the karting community here, Bob, and a great karting man. He prefers the independent karting sector, it has to be said. And that, of course, is why we're here this weekend. This is an independent championship, not part of the Motorsport UK fraternity. Last lap as we go through the chicane. And this is quite surprising that Corky has not been able to find a way past on a track like this. He's clearly got the pace, but can't get past Armstrong. Now, if Armstrong wins this heat, and at the moment, the way things stand, unless Corky is going to throw one up the inside somewhere, we're going to be back to 5 points in the championship, the 5-point championship lead for Seb Corking, as it was when we came in. Corking won heat 1 with Armstrong second. Looks like Armstrong is going to win this one with Corking second, and that is a reset for the championship points, 5 points between them. Out of hairpin 4 for the last time, down the left-right flick, the final turn, Armstrong from Corking, that's the way it finishes. Zane Quaker is going to come home in third place. Bit of a distant fourth for Charlotte Stanley this time, and Caden Simpson coming home in fifth with no Aston Brown. Aston obviously having a terminal failure earlier in the race. So the official race result looks like this, just .281 between Armstrong out front and Corking in second, but Corking unable to get the job done, which means Sebastian Corking again has a 5-point championship lead, moving to heat 3.